Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to our call today. We have a really special guest, and I'm really happy to have David Morten on our call today. We're going to be covering quite a bit of information, I think, that will help people understand the mindset that one needs to be if you're going to do this from a business perspective. All right. But before I do that, I'd like to congratulate David. David actually was the volume leader in the time period leading up to our North American National Convention of all of North America. And David, I'd really like to congratulate you on that and all the honors that went along with that. You did a great presentation when you were there. They gave you an hour, and I think that that was a really valuable hour. So welcome on our call, David.
Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the honor of being here today.
Yeah. So, David, the picture is up. It doesn't show on my screen, but Morten, we have his picture up, right?
I see it.
Okay.
Yes, yes,
okay, great. Well, if you guys look at that, I'm sorry?
Yes, go on, Chris.
If you look at that picture, it doesn't. I was asking Morten if David, if that was his picture or if that was somebody else. And David, what was your response to that?
That is a picture of my spirit.
That's your spirit. Okay. Well, tell everybody what that means. What do you mean by your spirit on that?
Well, it's a bit playful. It's a bit businesslike, and it likes to do the impossible.
So you have that on your business card, and you say you have it just wherever you put your picture.
Yeah, on my business card, my LinkedIn, my Facebook. It's really my personal brand. Has been my personal brand since 1995.
1995. And how did you get that personal brand? I mean, how'd that come about?
I had been working at a company called Oracle for 9 years, a global software company, and my team gave me an anniversary card, and this picture was on the front of the card, and it just captured me right there as my essence, if you will, and I've just made it my personal brand ever since.
Well, when you said it's definitely caught my attention, David, when you sent it to me, I was sitting there going, whoa. I said, hey, man, there must be a story behind that picture for sure, you know. But, so David, let me ask you this. How long have you actually been involved with Nikken?
I joined Nikken in June 1st of 2012. So
June 1st of 2012.
Almost coming up on a year and a half, December 1st.
Wow. And you know, you and I were talking earlier before, and you said even though you joined June 1st of last year, that really you didn't really. Just tell me your story. How did that evolve? Because I know that it was recently in the last 6 months that you really made a decision. How'd that all work out? How'd that happen?
Yeah, well, I think what I said earlier is I was born in late November last year when I decided to be coachable. I decided to end my 5 months that I call my valley of death in Nikken. I mean, I made it silver, but I wasn't going much further than that.
Yeah. So, what does coachable mean to you?
You know, in my case, it was I'd had a very successful run as a software executive, as an executive in the software industry, and came in and thought I could do things, you know, better and different. And I even went so far as to start writing a presentation in Spanish and English at the same time.
Whoa, that's really good.
So I had a big vision, you know, that I could go bilingual right off the bat, even though my Spanish is not that good. And but you know, I was in Wisconsin with my sister's team. I live in California, and I was with some crossline, the Andersens, and we had a wellness preview, and nobody showed up, and that's clearly the way it was meant to be. And instead, I got coaching from them for a couple hours, and it included, "Do you have a mentor? Do you have a mentor? Do you have a mentor? Do you have a mentor?" And
Right.
I kept saying no, and they kept saying get one. And finally, they kicked me enough times in the head that when I got in the car to drive the hour home that night, I called up Pat Terry and asked her if she'd be my mentor, and she said yes. And so it was ready for me to listen and stop, you know, reinventing the wheel.
Wow. So how did things change once you started that process?
Well, I had I had just completed my second Humans Being More before that time, where I completed the second half of my vision board. I don't apparently follow instructions well. I didn't realize we were supposed to work on all 5 pillars. And so the first Humans Being More I went to in September in Chicago of last year, I'd completed a couple of the pillars, the contribution to society, which was big for me. But I hadn't, as Pat Terry pointed out to me in the San Diego North American Leadership Conference last year, I hadn't completed a few others, like my own vision of my own time with family and friends, and the fact that as I was intending to be Royal Ambassador by December 23rd, 2015, which came out even on the first vision board, that I hadn't accepted the money that the Nikken compensation plan said was going to flow to me in return for helping as many people as I intended to help. And she said, if you don't accept that money and figure out what to do with it, you're going to sort of stop up the flow, and you won't be able to help as many people as you want to help. So that was one of her early coachings that I went back and worked on in my second Humans Being More.
Well, so you went to 2 Humans Being More. How important is that? What is that? Some people that may be listening on this call, does Humans Being More, what's that? Why is that important?
It's huge. It's without it or something like it, I think it's hard to live as joyous a life as you would otherwise live, because Humans Being More is about finding yourself and what gives yourself joy, and then also discovering the things you've got in your own way, which you inherit naturally throughout life from your parents, from the various experiences in life. And Humans Being More, you get a chance to blow some of those things up that very weekend and get them out of your way and come out unleashed, at least partially, to go pursue your joy. And the ones you haven't blown up yet, at least you're aware of them, and you walk out with some tools to blow them up and get them out of your way in the future. And if not, keep going back to Humans Being More. I'm going again in a couple of weeks here.
Wow. So what I'm hearing is that Humans Being More is kind of a process. It's not like an event.
No, I mean, you hear a lot of the leaders, have gone 20, 30, 40 times, and there seems to be a pattern among those who are, royal diamonds that they've gone way more than one time.
Right.
And I think that there's this process of personal growth that is required to, become a royal diamond or a royal ambassador. And while we may know the end of the game, we don't, as they say in Humans Being More, we don't know the how to get there. We know the why we're going to be there. We have the joyous intent to get there. We've made that decision, but there's a lot of how to learn along the way. And certainly a part of it is Humans Being More, to find your why, and another part of it is, as Susan Carver said in Vegas, is to find your will. What will you do each day to make your why come true?
Really? Well, I know that's important. If you don't do something to change, you're not going to change, right? So hey.
Yep.
Well, I think that's really good thought process. Let me ask you then. So you went to Pat Terry, and I know Pat, really well. So you got about the best mentor you can possibly have, because she's not going to let you get away with things, right?
Right. I mean, I went to her and said, Pat, I'm in motion, because they knew that. Pat and Mac, and I get Mac too, which is a bonus.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I went to Pat and I said, I know I'm in motion. I need course corrections, and that's what I want you to do. And I probably need some of the basics will be those course corrections, but you're not going to have to get me off the couch. I'm off the couch, and she knew that of me already, which I think is part why she accepted me as a mentee.
Right. So so sometime last year, sometime in the first or second quarter, something happened that just made you explode, because I know, based on the period that you did the largest volume of anybody in North America, I mean, that was a short period of time. So what happened? What was the decision-making process there, or did it just click? What happened?
So there was this contest, and Nikken North America, as I suspect happens around the world, runs contests. And
right.
In all honesty, they don't normally incent me, because if they're in line with what I need to do to build my business anyway, then I'll win them. and if they're not in line with what I need to do build my business, I'd rather not get distracted by them. But that's just me. You know, for a lot of people, they're really important to win those incentives. In this case, the incentive mattered a lot. It was an opportunity to dine with and learn from Mr. Kurt Foley, our worldwide president, and the existing royal ambassadors. And since I had decided in my first Humans Being More I was going to be a royal ambassador by December 23rd, 2015, I wanted every opportunity possible to sit down and learn from them.
Wow. So in order to do that, you had to win.
Absolutely.
And I know I know you had the dinner, because I talked to a few of them. They said you had a great dinner with both Kurt and all three royal ambassadors. So that was a great honor. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. It was very enjoyable.
Yeah. So you made a decision. Okay. When did you actually make that decision to go for that contest?
I made the decision in early April, which was the first month of the 3-month period.
Right.
And it's clear that the decision was why it happened, because the results didn't happen right away. April was my lowest check in Nikken to date, including my first month in Nikken back in June the year before. And that was a wake-up call. I had moved into what I've heard referred to as management mode, and I hadn't really been recruiting, and this contest clearly to have that PGV included recruiting. And then Pat sent Mac down to me. It was the first time I got to work with him directly in May, and I discovered just beforehand why she had sent him down, which was to learn how to tap group, and so help people recruit downward, you know, into the organization, and just go recruit downward myself if the people hadn't learned it yet themselves.
Right.
And May was not much better.
So what you're saying is that he actually was doing some hands-on working with you, and what he was doing is saying, let's go sponsor as deep as we can. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, sponsor as deep as we can, and as I mentioned, I became conscious that was why he was being sent down, but I didn't know how to do it, so I didn't really know what it meant, and so I got the lesson in a pretty hard way. We did a Super Sunday. I didn't ask anybody to help me. I won't ever do that again. Put on an entire event by myself, and we had a successful event with, you know, dozens of people, and Mac did a fantastic job, and then the next day, Mac was helping some other local team on a Monday, and I knew I had a full 48 hours of his time on Tuesday and Wednesday, and here we were Monday evening, and I didn't have a single appointment set up for the next 2 days. Wow. So you had to do some things, huh? So I just, you know, I trusted in my intention, which was joyful, and rather than be down on myself, you know, Monday evening while I had no appointments for us, I was a little, don't get me wrong, I had fear I was going to disappoint him and myself and not use those 2 days. But then the appointments started to roll in that evening, because I kept the joyous intent, as they teach in Humans Being More, and Tuesday morning filled up, and while we were doing appointments Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon filled up, and Tuesday night, and over those 2 days we had some very full days, and they absolutely laid the groundwork for what became, you know, a fantastic June, the best June ever, and the opportunity to win that contest I had decided to win. Wow. So for those people that say, you know, I started, it's kind of slow for me, it didn't really work, and so maybe this is not for me, you know, those kind of thought processes. You didn't have that luxury because you committed to do a contest, so there was no out on that one, because I'm sure several people reminded you of that all the time. But so for those people that say, well, I had a slow start, you mean there's still some hope? Oh, absolutely. I mean, just to finish the story, I entered June 27,000 PGV short of the 40,000 goal. I entered the last 2 weeks 19,000 short, and I entered the last 4 days 12,000 short, and the last 6 hours 6,000 short. But you still got it. I still got it, and you know, part of it was I was speaking along the way for those 3 months. I was telling everyone I was going to do it. You know, and it was just because it was my intent. But there was this funny moment that happened
about 10 days before the end, when Gordon Williams has started his group on Google Groups, and he said, "Hey, what's everyone's goals for the month?" And I actually hesitated before speaking into the ether that I was going to win that contest, and I was still 19,000 points away. And I got to look at myself. It's like, why am I hesitating? I'm telling the real people in my real life, and I won't post it onto the internet. And so, in all honesty, while I made the decision back in early April, you get to make the decision again and again. And that was when I 100% knew I was going to get to the 40,000 PGB with 3 seniors and have that dinner. Was that process I went through for about 3 minutes inside myself before I finally posted, I'm going to win this dinner, and I have 19,000 PGB to go. And
so you literally did go from silver to gold in 90 days. So.
It was a large, absolutely large contribution to that, you bet.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, again, congratulations on that. You know, a lot of people who start this business, you know, this is like any other business. You know, you got to lay the foundation. Sounds like to me you were laying foundation all along the way. If I can remember way back when I was breaking the silver or gold and that kind of thing, I know that I had all these people I had talked to, and there wasn't anything kind of on a batch of them, there wasn't any conclusion on them. And so I started going back to those same people and said, look, you know, and just talking to them and talking to them from the heart, not from the brain. And you can get a lot of things accomplished when you start talking from the heart and have the right intention, as you say.
You know, absolutely. And so, you know, the final course corrections that, you know, I would say contributed to my, you know, to my reaching the gold, you know, the level of gold was, one, finally grasping the exponential income possibilities of network marketing. And I'm an electrical engineer, you know, I should get the math, but it hadn't hit my heart yet. And when I saw one of Eric Worre's interviews with an 82-year-old man who, you know, had finally succeeded in network marketing but started at 65, was broke for 5 years, but kept it up because he understood the power of the exponential, you know, math, actually went bankrupt, and then finally turned the corner to have the exponential growth happen. And at the time he did that call at age 82, he had earned $37 million in network marketing.
Wow.
And that connected it past my brain, you know, to my heart, because along the way I learned that what was going on there was he was helping other people earn incomes, and they were helping people earn incomes. And it's really this business of service, not about to the sick, that's a nice benefit, but to the not about to the physically sick, but to the financially sick.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's two aspects of this. You know, there's, I call it freedom from health challenges or better health, and then freedom from financial situations or better finances, okay? So that's to me is our product. And, you know, you come from an analytical background, so, you know numbers and those kind of things. For the people on the line here listening, there are more your supporters and promoters, or the people that say, hey, you know, I want to have more than just making money and those kind of things.
Yep.
What do you, any comment to them about what we do for people?
Well, you know, what's more fun than lifting people out of poverty? What's more fun than lifting people out of broke? You know, what is more supportive than lifting people out of poverty and lifting people out of broke? What could get you more recognition and rewards at the heart level than lifting people out of poverty? You know, lifting them out of financial struggle, and knowing at the same time they're going to be lifted out of whatever ails them physically.
Right. I agree 100%. I mean, it's not one or the other, it's both, but the key thing here is right now in our world economy, there's probably more people interested in getting out of the broke area or poverty area, and even if it's not that, have a lifestyle, because I can tell you right now, David, when I got involved with this over 19 years ago, I had no life even though I was making money. So it's not just about money, it's about having a lifestyle that helps you get where you want to go. And, you know, humans being more, really focuses in people on identifying what your real wants and needs are, and I think it's really a really kind of awesome thing. So, what's your goals? What's now? So you went through the 90 days. You were able to hit your goal, your objective, and it's always great to have a plan. And I guess my next question is, if you did not have a plan, do you think you ever would have gotten there?
No, I mean you must have that joyful intention, as they help us understand, and humans need more. But you also must have the committed, consistent, coachable will, and that includes a plan, and a plan for each. A plan for the longer term. In my case, the first major objective is December 23rd, 2015, having created $75 million for the people that are and are coming onto my team, so that they can have the lifestyle that they deserve, and as a result, I'll become Royal Ambassador. But there's steps along the way, and so I know the dates that I intend to be, Royal, Diamond, and Platinum, which you make mistakes. I missed my October Platinum, so it's going to happen this month. And that's okay. You pick yourself up and pull it back together, and it doesn't shift any of my other dates. They're all still possible at this point. But you also must then have a monthly plan, a weekly plan, a daily plan.
Right. If you do that, things seem to run smoother than if you just kind of, I'm just going to call some people today, because there's no objective there, typically. I'll say the same thing. I'll say or restate what Reed Nelson says a lot. He says, you know what, I don't think I've ever hit a goal. He actually talks about that a lot. He says, every goal I've ever hit, a set, I don't think I've ever hit, even though he does as much volume as anybody right now in the world, okay? Mm-hmm. And he comes from the heart, but he has a business conscious about it. And right now, there's two sides of the same coin. One is the side of people needing freedom from all their financial woes, or freedom to have a life, to be with their family. I was talking to a gentleman out of Hungary over the last couple of days, and his goal would be to be with his family more.
Yep.
It really wasn't a money goal. It was a lifestyle goal. Be with his family, enjoy his family, have a life. And I said, well, you tell me what you want to get, and I'll help you get there. Now, along the way, we're going to help a lot of people financially. Along the way, we're going to help a lot of people from their physical. Along the way, we're going to help people just live longer. Okay, but the bottom line is we're going to help people one way or the other, and he was all in. He really liked that concept of being able to be something for everybody in the same vein. When you worked with your group, did you find that your group had different goals and objectives, David?
Absolutely. And Chris, if I may ask you a question first, for that gentleman in Hungary who wants to spend more time with his family. I have a friend who's very much in a similar situation with a franchise that's keeping him half a state away and weeks away from his family. How much money a month does that gentleman in Hungary need in order to have all the time he wants with his family?
That's correct. And with that money, then he'd be able to do that. What he
Right.
really didn't have is the avenue to earn it,
Yes.
not just the money. Because, see,
Right.
he could have a lot of money, earn a lot of money. I used to earn a lot of money when I was in corporate. It didn't free my time up.
No.
It actually tied me more down. But it's the vehicle that allows you the time to do what you want to do and still earn the income. In fact, he had another lady who he was talking about, and I said, well, how would that lady like to, and she was a money person, I said, well, how would that lady like to earn more part-time than she does in her full-time job now? Okay.
Right.
And,
Right. I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, what I listen for among my, among people as they're coming on my team, and even among my team members, because it shifts, is I listen for the pain, the lack that they have in particularly four of the pillars: the mind, family, society, finances. Where do they lack, money? Where do they lack time with family and friends and the people they love? Where do they lack the personal growth and their own development? Where do they lack, making a difference? And like you, I dive into that to begin to understand it, and to the point where I see the pain on their face. I can see it in their body from the lack. And then I know that they've connected with something that's meaningful to them. And then I ask them, how much money a month does it take to get rid of that pain that you're experiencing, that lack that you're experiencing? That's the only reason that I keep talking about money. Money may be only one of their lacks. It may be lack of time with family and friends, but money can get them the time back. Or maybe lack of personal growth, and you need some time to, go do some of those seminars and take the time to do the personal growth. Or maybe, it may be a lack of making a difference in the world. Well, money helps. Mother Teresa wasn't going to turn down money. She was just going to use it for good, not evil.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts on, if we're going to have people that are maybe not even just a consultant yet, maybe listening to this and then saying, okay, here's this David guy that started, and then he made a decision and got some mentoring, was coachable, and then progressed, and now he's really on his way, because you are on your way. You're going to be platinum within the next 30, 60 days. You're way on your way to getting what you want out of life. And there's a lot of people on the call that would love to be able to do the same thing. So what is your final thoughts that you would like to relay to people if they have the same desires to do it? They just need something else that will push them over.
First, become emotionally attached to what you want out of your life or what you want brought into your life. And if you don't know how to do that, go attend Humans Mean More and you'll figure that out. Second, understand that this business called network marketing is nothing different than you've done all of your life. If somebody has come to you and said, I need a dentist, we human beings tend to be helpful. We'll say, well, check out these two, they're great. Or, I just lost my job. I need a job. Do you have any suggestions? And we say, well, go talk to these people. They might get a job. They might have a job for you, right? We like to help people like that. That's all this network marketing business is. The only difference is if that person happens to use that dentist, you get paid a little bit of money every month for the rest of your life and your kids' lives and your grandkids' lives. If that person happens to take that job, you get a little bit of money for generations to come. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually how the internet works these days. If you click on links on the internet, advertising money flows, marketing money flows. That's why the internet is free to the rest of us. So this profession, I believe, is a wonderful profession, and let's not make it too complicated. Let's just listen for people's pain or listen for people's dreams, ask a few more questions until we clarify and get the emotional connection to those lacks in their life or those desires in their lives, and then offer to connect them to some people that can help them. Offer to connect them to some people that can help them have more time with their family and friends, or more money in their life, or more personal growth, or more of a contribution to society, and let those other people help them. And along the way, we all get helped, and we all begin to achieve our dreams.
Absolutely. Well, David, again, I'd like to congratulate you on your successes, and I know you're not going to stop until you reach your objective. And I have no doubt of that. Okay, so just keep on keeping on, and thank you for being on this call. And you have no idea what you said today that might trigger somebody going out there and achieving their dreams, and it's because of what you said today. Okay, so thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Chris and Morten, for the opportunity. It's an honor and a privilege.
All right.
Thank you so much for being on the call.
Any other comments, Morten? Are you ready to close out?
I think we are ready. I just remind everybody that we have a new call next Monday, and then we will skip 1 week, skip the 18th, because Chris and I will be going to the UK the 18th for a President's Club meeting there, and then we'll have a new call a week after that again. So you'll see, you find all the webinars on nickenlive.com.
Right. Stay tuned. Dennis Estes, who is one of the top producers in the world, has agreed to be on this call. So that will be posted within the next few days. So stay tuned to that. Otherwise, have a great week, and we'll be talking soon. Thanks.
Thank you.